Okay, so the first thing I did was make a model in SketchUp, a 3D model. And this is basically what the chimney looks. From. First thing you can see is that there are two chambers, the one that is in the back that is empty, and the one in the front where already I put in the tube, so to say. And this rear channel actually goes to the floor below. Okay, so the idea in this old chimney is to have one chimney for two floors. And actually in the very old days there's a second and a third floor, and they were also connected to this chimney. Consequently, it is pretty big. It's like 1 meter by 150, so it's about 3 by 5 feet. Big old chimney. Now, the bigger the chimney, the more air mass you have in it, which means that air mass has to be moved by the hot air, right? So unless you have a really hot hellfire going in the fireplace down here, it'll be very difficult for the chimney to pull that smoky air out the chimney on top. Okay, so as you can see here, from the fireplace to the top of the chimney, that's about 12 meters. So that's a long way for the smoke to go. And essentially the plan is to just insert a stainless steel tube into the chamber that is relevant for the ground floor, okay, and bring it all the way over the roof. Now the trouble with that, as you saw in the initial pictures, is that this is an old 14th century water castle, and there's a moat all around it, which means you can't just have a platform, because that truck would have to stand in the moat, right, in the water, so that doesn't work. We had the roof repaired and had a massive 30-ton platform wagon, but that was like $2,000 a day just for that car, and I didn't want to spend that money, so I decided to put, rather than let the chimney down from the top, which is what you normally do, and you work with gravity, and that's good and that's smart, right? But I didn't have that option, so my only option was to basically push the steel tube up from down to top, from like the ground floor to top. So the first thing you see, if you look carefully, that this tube isn't straight, right? It's like tilted. The big question was, I actually led a camera down this chimney from the 3rd floor, and pretty much the geometry that I observed. And what you can see here, if that image is correct, is that wouldn't work, right? It would just sort of knock against the chimney like the concrete. So what this tube would have to do is it would actually have to bend out of the way of this obstacle here, right? Now, once this bends, there is a danger that these connections here, which are only, you just stick them into each other and you push them up, basically. So my fear was that this would actually not work, and that the pieces of the tube would actually jump out of their connection and just fall down the chimney. So I had to secure that, and I'm going to show you on another model how I did that. Okay, but the basic principle is that push the push the steel tube from here to over the roof. And that's the idea. So here's the model real quick, how I was planning to secure the steel tube against the individual 1 meter elements disconnecting. Basically what you have is a stainless steel flat bar, which is what I think it's 30 mil wide and 3 mil thick, and that would be connected to perforated stainless steel tape, which is about 1 mil thick or 0.8 mil thick or something like that. And it actually, counter to what you see here, it has holes, so you can just put like stainless steel screws through it and secure the tube on the steel rod. And this would go all the way up to the top, right? All the way up. And this would be bolted into the wall at the bottom, which there is a photo where you can see that. So that's the idea of how to secure the tube, the 1 meter tube pieces from disconnecting over the wide 4 meter gap that I need to bridge and where the tube needs to bend.